Some experts say the solution isn't just increasing the number of Black professionals in healthcare. I'm so excited to hear your take on this. But bringing care back into patient care. What does that actually look like, and how can it transform the patient experience? Honestly, you can answer that question. That's a question I have, but I just would love for you to speak to it in general because I know you're ready because I'm ready to hear it. You just speak. You ain't even got to answer the question. You just speak to it, sis. Go ahead.
I will say that's the biggest thing that is missing. Yes, we need more people of color in these rooms and spaces and on these, and not just on the bedside portion of it, but also on the corporate side. Also on, the other side of bedside. We need people that look like us. But really and truly, it's going to have to be going back to of just caring. Just simply care about what somebody is going through. And you're right when you brought in about the whole COVID thing, because a lot of it did desensitize a lot of us. And especially when you work in the healthcare field, in order for you to survive, you got to be desensitized. In order for you not to be burnt out, you got to have a level of you got to have a level of care and not care, because it will burn you out the quickest. The ones that care the most burn out the fastest. Wow. And the ones that look like robots, where they just come in and be like, hey, you got cancer, you have 3 months to live, follow up with your oncologist, bye, and walk out the door. And then you have the ones that care, that will be like, Miss Johnson, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but unfortunately your scans did show that you have, just adding a level of care and empathy and patience, know. There's 2 types of providers, 2 types of nurses, 2 types of healthcare workers. One is going to last longer than the other when it comes to it. But I feel like God created people like me in a way to where you can still care and empathize for a patient while simultaneously still protecting and safeguarding yourself. And it just takes a matter of, is this what I'm called to do? And yes, we can get into that conversation of like, oh, nurses are just in it for the money. I'm not here to have that debate.
Okay.
But what I am here to talk about is that the two can exist. You can care while simultaneously putting up those safeguards for yourself and knowing how to pour back into yourself so you're not completely depleted.
Can you kind of just briefly walk us through that for healthcare professionals who are listening and who hear that and they're like, yeah, I want to do that. And they may not be for various reasons, right? They're one or the other, right? They're either they either care too much, don't care enough, feeling burnt out, what have you. What does that look like to get to that? Like what are some just simple things that they can do?
I mean, for me, as you were asking that question, the first thing that came to mind is God. Like I there's no way I could be a nurse without believing in God. He gives me a spirit. I feel like God has blessed me with mouth and hands that heal and a presence that heals. So the moment I walk into a room, a patient will be like, oh, I'm so glad you're my nurse, and which is why I know I'm in alignment with what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. But to specifically answer to those healthcare workers is you really got to know your why. Like, why is it that you're doing what it is that you're doing? Are you coming in here yes, we are. We work to get paid. Let's be very clear. Ain't nobody doing no free labor.
No.
Jesus didn't even say that.
Come on, somebody.
But what is your intention when it comes to when you walk into that door? Before I clock in, I say a prayer every day. Before I clock in, asking God to fuel me, asking Him to give me the patience that I need to deal with the most difficult patient. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are things that I do. And then on my days off, I think that's another biggest thing. What are you doing for yourself on your days off?
Say it.
Because you have to perform when you go to work. When you clock in those 12 hours or however many hours you work as a healthcare worker, you gotta do the job.
Based on performance, you're being paid to perform.
Correct. But what's gonna matter is, what do you do on your off days? How do you take care of yourself? How do you pour back into yourself? What are you eating? Are you moving your body? What are you listening to? What are you watching? Yes. All those things are going to determine how you pour back into yourself and how you feel. So when you go back to work, Are you like, oh my gosh, I hate this, I'm so tired of it? Or are you like, oh my goodness, I'm thankful that I have a job that allows me to be impactful, influential, whatever the case may be, whatever verbiage that you use. That's going to determine your longevity in the healthcare system when it comes to dealing with this. And as someone like me who worked in inner city hospitals with people that look like me and you, them the ones that are the most strenuous.
Yeah.
The most strenuous. But I like working there because it gives me a chance to, a lot of our people are medically illiterate. And I don't mean that to be insulting or offensive, but it's
facts. It's true.
It's just
That's
true.
the truth. What?
They don't know. And I come to the bedside and I'm able to educate and teach and give them practical tips of what they can do outside of here to prevent them from having to come back.
Wow. Oh, we don't get none of that.
Yeah.
We don't get enough of that.
So one of the things that I always say is, especially like, if I have a good rapport with a patient, I'll be like, I can't wait to see you again, but not in here. Like when you see me at Kroger, you see me at Walmart or at the mall, we can kick it. But here, I don't want to see you back here. Just to kind of have that, put that trigger in them to just be like, okay, I need to be on top of my health, or, I need to follow up. I need to do this. I need to do that. So those are the things that I feel like that would help healthcare workers and also help patients and bringing back that patient care. And also not being afraid to speak up to your colleagues when you hear this medical racism or when you hear bias. I got another story. Can I tell another story?
You sure can.
So the biggest thing is also, while you, as a nurse, I advocate for my patient, but also checking medical bias or medical racism. Checking it when you hear it and when you see it. Case in point, I had a patient that came from out the country, from Africa, and they were coming in. They were on blood pressure medication, but the son that brought his parents here, because they're older, his son brought his parents here. They ran out of their blood pressure medication, but he was trying to get them seen by a doctor. But because, it was during Christmas time, life gets to happen, and they ran out of blood pressure medication. Goes to find out they were out for about maybe like 2 weeks, and blood pressure went sky high through the roof. So what they do, come to the ER, take care of them. So the father's blood pressure ended up being like extremely high, and we had a really hard time bringing it back down. So he ended up being admitted into the hospital. So as I'm giving report to a nurse, it's a white nurse, I'm giving her report and I'm telling her the story, and then she's like, oh, so he's non-compliant. So here's the danger behind that terminology of non-compliant. It automatically puts a stigma on you where providers will not literally, but will end up dismissing you. Because if you're deemed as non-compliant to medication, it's kind of like, oh, okay, so we can prescribe you medication, but you're not going to take it, or you're not going to do anything about it, or, you don't care about your health. Because you see a lot of what we call frequent flyers in the hospital because they just don't take their medication, for whatever reasons. And there's lots of different reasons why people don't take medicines. And there's some of them is because they just don't want to take it, or they just, like coming and spending their days in the hospital for whatever reason, But I was highly offensive with her saying that he was non-compliant, because that's not the case.
That's not the case.
Non-compliance to me in my book is you have access to medication, you have medication, but you choose not to take the medication. Yeah. That to me is the definition of non-compliant. However, in this situation, he had the medication, he ran out of it and was not able to see a doctor in time before his blood pressure shot through the roof. There's a big difference. So now you're going to put in this man's chart, he's non-compliant. And now that puts a label and a stigma on him for him to be dismissed. Now, even though with that being on your chart, doctors, nurses, healthcare workers, they still have to provide care and show proof that they provided care and treatment. But the mental stigma that you put in your head about a patient who's non-compliant, don't put that on him, because that's not the case.
So is there a way for us to advocate? I know we already talked on how to advocate for ourselves, but with you saying that, like, of course, I would say pay attention to what the doctor's saying, nurses saying, what have you,
Mm-hmm.
you have to really listen. Your family member, you have to have someone in there with you at the
I'm glad you
hospital
mentioned that
because they hear all things. Because when
Yes.
you're ill and you're not feeling well, you ain't going to hear
you're
everything.
missing things. Correct.
So have somebody, call somebody that you trust that can be there.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, when you hear things like that, you got to advocate for that because like she said, that goes on your record and now you're dismissed and you probably shouldn't have been dismissed,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what it is,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
Right.
your life could, like, it's that serious.
Mm-hmm.
Your life could end due to that's correct. Like when you think about that, due to somebody literally saying he's non-compliant because this is why perspective
Mm-hmm.
is so huge
Mm-hmm.
because his definition of not being compliant is misaligned and not accurate.
Mm-hmm.
The Zulu nurses is. And the fact that he wasn't even having a conversation, do you get what I'm saying? With somebody as non-compliant to me looks this way
Mm-hmm.
because communication is so key in all aspects of our life, but especially in the healthcare system.
Mm-hmm. So now, mind you, the patient doesn't know this conversation is happening. Like, we would,
Right.
the
Of
patient
course.
doesn't know this conversation is happening.
Yeah.
But me as his nurse, I'm going to advocate. I'm going to speak up, and we're not going to put a label that doesn't fit. And especially, I know what that terminology means for a Black foreign patient.
Yeah.
So, so it's just being able to speak up and calling and checking your coworkers when they're being biased.
So what about the people though, Zulu nurse, who
Mm-hmm.
don't have you? Because you're very rare. My goodness, if we could clone her and put her in every hospital, but I don't want to do that because you'd be worn out.
Worn out. Hello.
Okay. But what about those who don't have a nurse like you? Because something else that you spoke to when we were talking about nurses
Mm-hmm.
and how they can have that balance is it's a lifestyle. It starts with your spiritual core, number
100%.
one, which is true. You're not able to be in this industry. I'm sorry if you don't have a spiritual core.
Correct.
You're just not. Because
Correct.
then you don't care about humanity. So why are you in healthcare, caring for health and caring for the people?
Correct.
Get out.
Correct.
Get out. If you're looking to amplify your reach and elevate your brand, you can now become a sponsor of the Zen Effect Show. Your support helps expand conversations that uplift our daily lives and will move the world forward while giving your business premium exposure. That's right, across radio, across podcast platforms, across YouTube. It's going to amplify your voice and bring more awareness to what you are doing. You will also receive in-studio placement right here on the Zen Effect Show. Supporting the show will expand your impact at the same time, but it also is going to support this show in amplifying entrepreneurs' voices, artists' voices. So go ahead and reach out. Visit my website, www.thezeneffectco.com, and go to sponsor/advertisement. Also, if you're having an event, I want to spotlight your event. The Zen Effect Show plays and is listened to in over 80 plus countries, you all. So I would love to support you in expanding your reach. So again, go ahead and visit my website, thezeneffectco.com. Be sure to follow me on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Just search The Zen Effect Show. Okay, you all. And if there's a topic that you have that you want me to discuss, that you want me to give a conscious take to, go ahead and DM me on Instagram, DM me on TikTok. You can send me a video. Maybe it's a reel that you saw and you're like, Zen, I want you to speak to this. You do not have to mention your name. You can remain completely anonymous or visit my website, The Zen Effect Co. That's CO.com, and you can also submit your topic there.
100%.
Medical racism is a reality. Before I even go to this question, I'm gonna be real too. Something else that's coming up for me. I believe what's also coming up for me, Zulu Nurse, is I'm just there's so much information that you are sharing here that my mouth is just dropping open.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that I'm just being like, what? Because I care so much I cannot even imagine how you feel being in it. I'm not even in it. I don't even see it. But just hearing what is taking place and hearing what's happening, and I'm so thankful. This is why y'all, the Zulu Nurse, will continue to come back. She will. She will always be invited here. And I mean that because it's necessary for us to know. I don't know anyone else that is supporting us in this way. I don't. I truly, truly don't. Mm-hmm. So I just want to thank you. Medical racism is a reality many don't talk about openly. How does it show up in day-to-day care? And what can we do as a community to challenge it and really create real change? I know that was a little bit of a loaded question.
Yeah, but let's unpack it.
Yeah.
Let's unpack it. Medical racism shows up number one, where you live. What's your zip code? If we know you're from a certain part of Atlanta, we know that you have limited access to produce. You have limited access to primary care visits. You have limited access to pharmacies. So already you're in a deficit just from where you live.
Gosh, and that's a large deficit too.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That just right there.
Yeah.
And then also your school system. I've realized that for me, when I went to school in Gwinnett. Gwinnett has a really good school system. One of the things that we had was health. One of the things that we had in health, they talked about primary care doctors. They talked about, medication. They really went extensive on how to eat, what's eating healthy, and what's not eating healthy. I remember that growing up in that school system, being trained how to do that. And then when I went to college, I went to a school in the hood, one for layman terms. And, the kids I loved the kids, but I realized that there was a mass deficit in their basic knowledge of what's healthy versus unhealthy. I had a kid who was 7 years old who never had a cherry before. The fruit, a cherry. Never ate it. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Wow. They're used to ramen. They're used to, Hot Pockets, quick, easy,
processed foods.
Processed foods. So you're starting from there.
Yeah.
And then you grow up with this foundation and this basis.
Yeah.
And now you're an adult.
Yeah.
And yes, we live in a society where we have access to information right there at our fingertips.
Yeah.
But what you're having to do is dismantle what you've been raised, how you've been raised, and what you know to be okay or essentially right.
1000%.
So now you're coming into the hospital setting and you're now being diagnosed with things that as healthcare providers we see regularly, but to you is new, it's foreign. Yeah. And because you may not understand it, you may be deemed as, oh, you're going to be a problem, or you don't know, or it just there's a lot of this dismissal that can go into it because of the statistics that as Black people we have when it comes to kidney failure, hypertension, cardiovascular issues, and etc. Just to name a few. Diabetes, thank you. Just to name some of the few things. So that's the biggest portion of how medical racism shows up and where it starts from. This is the biggest thing. And if there's a way that I could just infiltrate that and figure out how to, really dismantle that and break those barriers, I think we will have a better outcomes in the hospital when it comes to it. And also, making medical textbooks more diverse. Like,
come on, somebody.
Especially when it comes to like issues of the skin, diseases of the skin, when it comes to signs and symptoms of certain diseases, there's a lot of stuff out there, but it's only catered to people who are Caucasian. Research, Black women are the most under-researched when it comes to medical research, essentially.
So is it safe to say they really don't know too much of what's going on with our bodies?
Correct.
That's dangerous.
Correct. I remember one time I went to a doctor and he said that I was talking about always being tired. I'm like, I'm a night shift nurse, always tired. And he was just like, oh, your vitamin D level is probably low. That annoyed me. It annoyed me because you looked at me and Black women are known to have low vitamin D.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you were able to say it without testing me and you don't even know what my value is, that it didn't sit well with me.
Yeah. That wouldn't have sat well
That
with
didn't
me
sit well
either.
with me.
Not
because
at all.
when you look at me, do you think I have hypertension?
Right.
Do you think I got diabetes?
Yeah. Exactly.
Do you think I got kidney failure?
Exactly.
So it's stuff like that that medical racism shows up. And now, granted, okay, to be honest with y'all, the level was low. Okay. The vitamin D level was low, but you didn't know that.
Though, it's still
you didn't know that.
It's kind of like racial profiling, based on medical, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I wouldn't have liked that either.
Yeah. So
be in inquiry. That's the thing. Be in inquiry instead of just assuming and then just speaking out of being naive and ignorance.
So those are some of the ways that I see medical racism show up day to day, and also how many ER visits that you have. Because if we see that, because we can always see how many times you've been into hospital, you've checked into hospital, so if we see that you on your 6th visit in the last 8 weeks, people get to asking, okay, what's going on? Sometimes they may look at it like, okay, we might need to dive very few people I've heard say we need to dive deeper into the situation, because a lot of times the ER, we're not going to fix your problem. You got to follow up. You got to follow up with a primary care, or you got to follow up with a referral. Whatever it is that your situation is, you do got to follow up, because we just treat medical emergencies, And so people get frustrated with us because they're just kind of like, well, you didn't do anything for me. No, we can only help you if you're having a medical emergency, like something that needs to be dealt with right here, right now. But when it's something chronic, long term, where you need follow-up visits, where you need regular testing, you got to do that on the outskirts. You got to do that outpatient with a PCP, and so educating people about that also is really important, because they think that we're just supposed to fix everything, and it's not the case.
And that's not the case. As we close, Zulu Nurse, what is your effect, your energy that you bring to this earth?
I like to leave people feeling better than how I found them.
Honey, you did that today. Okay, yes. I love it.
I think that is my effect. Like when you have an encounter with me, whether it's at the grocery store, whether it is at work, whatever it may be, I want to know, I want to have the kind of presence and spirit where you feel better just having an interaction with me. It doesn't have to be a big one. Just from a smile to hello, how are you? Or to even a deep conversation about the price of tea in China. I don't know. But just anything, any interaction that you have, I always want to have that spirit in me that makes people feel good when I leave them. Or even better than how I found them.
I love that. How can we stay connected with you, Zulu Nurse? Talk about how we can stay connected with you, as well as how, honey, I almost drunk all of it. Right here. I'm about to finish it right here, right now.
Yes.
And how we can purchase these lovely sexual wellness drinks.
Yes,
I want to make sure it's in focus.
So basically, you can follow me on all platforms, Zulu Nurse. That is Instagram. That is TikTok. connect there. I do answer my DMs. I do.
She does.
I do.
She does.
So if you have any questions, feel free. Nursing students, I'm always taking nursing students under my wing to mentor and to
please
tutor.
go under her wing, please.
Because I feel like because I can't do this forever. So I need to make sure that I'm leaving gems for the new nurses coming behind me.
Yes.
So that way they could take on and be great where they go, you know? But yeah, so Zulu Nurse, ZULU, and then nurse. And then the drink is called Yoni Potion. So there's a link in my bio that you can click on it, and it will walk you through the steps on how to order. It will show you what it is, which one that you can get pertaining to whatever complication or issue or supplement that you want to achieve. So yeah.
And you will also see it here on the QR code. For those who are listening audio, go to the YouTube page. I put QR codes up during the video interviews so you can scan it, and it'll take you directly to all of her links. And all things, get you some.
Yes, please.
Get you some. I'm about to put in a whole nother order, honey. I need about 32.
Yes.
Come, okay, somebody. I love these.
Yes.
I love these.
Are, especially like for even if you feel like, okay, you don't have any of those issues that I just named.
Yes.
But even like during your menstrual cycle, when, things get a little murky and things get, you get kind of bloated and you feel real
That's
sluggish.
when I love them. Yes.
When you feel real sluggish, Purify Hair is really great for that week during that time of the month. So yeah.
Yes, that's why I love them, because I don't have any issues. Thank the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
However, I like preventative. Okay, yes, preventative. Keep it right. Keep it tight. Okay, and then it really does help during the menstrual cycle. You all, my question to you. Wow, what an episode! This has been absolutely fantastic. My question to you is this, and it's actually going to be a very simple question. Did you take that all in? Did you really take that all in? If not, catch the replay and allow it to land. Because literally everything the Zulu nurse said today is life and death. And after this episode, what will you choose? And if you choose to still be on the course you're on and remain ignorant, you're choosing death. I'm not able to get no more direct than that. You choosing death. So if you want to live, get with the program. As long as you're living and breathing on this earth, you still have the capability, and you're still able to make a difference and make a change. It's not too late for you until you're 6 feet under.
That's real.
Take what resonated. Everything in this episode should have resonated with you today. Okay? Every single thing. Take what resonated with you today. Carry it with you through the week. Let's advocate for ourselves. Get your people, get your village. Put your village together. Who's going to be with you in the hospital? My emergency contact is my cousin. That's right. This is the first person I'm going to call my emergency contact to be here with me. Prayerfully, I don't have to go in the hospital.
Prayerfully.
You know what I'm saying? Prayerfully. Always keep your soul hydrated, your spirit fortified. The Zen Effect Show is accepting sponsors, brand partnerships, get your brand placement. You see right here, Yoni Potion, all the things, you all. This broadcast reaches so many people, thousands upon thousands upon thousands, you all, because we're multi-platform and on internet radio.
Yeah.
So go ahead and visit the website www.thezeneffectco.com or email me thezeneffectco@gmail.com and subscribe to YouTube, Instagram. It's the Zen Effect Show. Show was already taken. That's why the email and the website had to be the co, honey. But it's all right. It's all right. Until next Tuesday, stay elevated. Thank you, Zulu.
Yay, thank you for having me. Yay.
Honey, I feel good, honey. It's a little energy drink with the healthiness in it, honey. I love me some. Yes.
I got you, girl. I got you.
Yes.
The thing that still angers me to this day that I read a few weeks ago was that there was this thing called the Mississippi mass appendectomy. Basically, doctors were back in Mississippi, like in the 1930s, 40s, I believe it was, taking out Black women's uteruses.
Excuse me?
Yeah, it was like this mass sterilization of Black women. But it was guys that they're getting their appendix removed. But it was really, they were taking out their uterus. Yeah. It's crazy. And I understand why there's a mistrust when it comes to Black people in the healthcare system. Why we don't want to go to the hospital. Why we don't want to go to doctor visits. Because we always know, we think it's going to be bad news. They're overcharging us, misdiagnosing it. Like it's evidence that has proven that the healthcare system does not support Black people. It's research.
And on top of that, this is why we have got to, I'm seeing a lot more of it, and we got to continue it. We have got to connect with each other. Mm-hmm. Stop all this being against for different reasons that don't even matter.
Yeah.
We've got to come together because we can advocate for each other when we come together. Stop the BS. Like, for real, just stop. After you heard this episode, stop all the BS after you heard this episode.
Yeah.
Because our health has been and is continuing to be in 2026 in jeopardy at the hands of another. Yo, that's wild.
Yeah.
So, Zulu gonna come back. Zulu coming back. We may have Zulu every month.
Yeah.